Hello, hello. Hi guys. How are you guys? I hope you are fine. I'm adjusting the volume of the microphone and the music. Yeah. Hi Stephen Murphy. Hi Peter aka Octafood. Hello Chris C. Hi Son Author. Hello Dark Sector. Hi Mover. Hey Hayden Lonbro. Well, today we are gonna talk about some questions that you had in that you leave in the new forum. I will try to be really structured in this case. I understand that 2 hours of slow talk is too much, but what I'm trying to do this time is doing some sections, and then when I finish the live show, I will put some timestamps, or maybe I will cut the parts and upload just the parts. But yeah, since we're in the early access, I'm trying to explain everything just in general, but my idea is when we had the 1.0 version, the first version, I will create a complete tutorial from the beginning, doing everything really structured. Also, maybe I will do these tutorials in Spanish because it's my my tongue, my language, and maybe I will use some AI to translate my voice, so I have more. I'm more fluid speaking in Spanish, and then probably I will do something like that. Just the goal here is to be absolutely clear for you to understand the basics and how MNodes works and how you can build your tools. So let's start from the beginning. The basics. Of course, I referring to what we had in the questions that I had in the forum that you leave in the forum. So again, thank you for leaving those questions. It's interesting that if you have questions, leave it there, and I will answer that questions. For example, there was a question that from I made a script, but I don't remember who did it. The question. Yeah. Yes, here we are. Here in the forum, we had the questions, a thread with the questions. Yeah, we will cover that. MicroQuantize, how it works, how you can build your own scales, a multi-effect. Well, there are some questions that I have everything or almost everything noted. So yeah, again, this is the basics. We will cover the basics, the multi-effect switching. We will create an analog synthesizer, like a MUX synthesizer. We'll talk about also the feedback loops with envelopes, We'll talk about Scala and how MicroQuantize works. And we will talk in the end. If you have any questions, we will read your questions in the chat. Of course, you can write in the chat at any time you want, and I will try to reply. But yeah, I think it's better if you save your questions off topic or different than topics that we will talk today to the end. Okay. So. Let's go to the basics. Nodes, MNodes basics. I'm going to put down the volume. Yes. The basics, MNodes. Well, there was a question that is related about how to connect a cable. The basis of MNodes is that when you open MNodes, you have this window, and then you can choose if you want to create or you want to perform. Today we are going to talk about the create section, okay? The create section is where you build your own plugins or you change the plugins made by other guys. So what we have here are boxes, okay? And each box has a function inside, or many or different functions inside the boxes. The boxes are here in the left area. So here you have this button, and then you have this explorer, and then here you have a long list of nodes, and then you can add nodes, just dragging and dropping these nodes, okay? But also you can right click on any place on the graph, and then you can add, for example, look for an audio in, an audio out, okay. By the way, I load this MNodes in like a plugin instrument in a track in Bitwig, okay. But you can load this plugin like a regular plugin, like a regular instrument or effect, okay. So, well, a regular plugin or effect, there are both options, okay. If you are loading an effect for example, a reverb, EQ, or something like that, you will need to load MNodes effect. But if you load as an instrument, you will need an MNodes instrument, okay? Instrument is for that receive MIDI and sends audio, or sends MIDI, and effect it's receive audio and sends audio. It's a bit different, but it's the same plugin, but has this configuration. It's a bit different because the host must to know how to manage their inputs and outputs, okay? This is why we have different versions. So yeah, we load BST, BST an instrument. In this case, we're working inside an instrument, I mean MNodes instrument. We load an audio out, and let's see a question related with how to connect or disconnect a cable. Okay, this is really basic. Okay, let's start adding, for example, an int. Int is just a number. Okay, an integer with not float, with not decimals. Okay. And let's duplicate this node. How I duplicate this node? I can press Command or Control D, and here we have a new a duplicated node. Or we can go to Edit and duplicate. It duplicates the selected nodes. If I have few selected, I can duplicate these nodes. Okay. And then you can connect one from this point. If you want to communicate to this node, you have to click here in this dot and put this on another point. Connection, okay? These two connections, as you can see, has these colors. That's important at some point. You just have to remember that the colors, if you have both connections that has the same color, like that has two colors, can be connected. But also MNodes knows if he can connect. For example, if I try to connect this blue and green dot here, I can't connect it. It's impossible. Okay, it's not allowed. because this is a different type of data. This is audio, sound, everything that has sound. This doesn't have sound. This has just a number. When I move here, it sends a value, which is this value, from here to here, and then it receives it, and then I'm changing from this node, I'm changing this node. Okay, the connection goes from the left to the right. This is an output when it's on the right, and this is an input if it's on the left. Okay, so if I change this, I don't change in that, because the output comes from here to here. Okay, so, and how I can disconnect a cable? We know that we can drag it and drop it, but to disconnect, you just have to double click. You can select a cable, click over the cable, double click, and it's remove it. Simple. But if you want to disconnect, you can also, for example, drag the cable. If you are close to this connection, click here, and you can just click and drag without with the click left down of the mouse. Click it, hold, and then you move, and if you release the click, you will remove this cable. Okay, simple. But also you can, if you select a cable, if you press backspace or delete on the keyboard, you are removing that cables. Okay, if you want to undo the action, you can undo the action, and he's back, the cable, the connection. But also you can connect this in many nodes and send this data from here to here. So you can, for example, press Alt and drag with the mouse to select, and again you can press delete and remove it. Ctrl C to undo, or you can, for example, with the shift press it, I can select this, and then press delete or backspace and remove it. Or you can select these three cables, go here to close to the connection output, and move all those connections to here. So you can reconnect all that connections super easily. This is really convenient if you have a lot of connections and you want to change those connections and try different things really quickly. Okay, this is how the connections work. As I commented, we have different type of data. We have the connections. We have this blue connection, which is data. This sends data. This is a type of value which is slow. This is not the best to modulate things. This is more useful for UI stuff. Then we have, for example, CV, let's say CV value. CV value, this is a control voltage. This is sampler rate. This is quick. This has a high priority and goes really quick. And this is green. This type of data, which is CV, this goes at the frequency of the audio. Okay. In our case, I'm working at 44,100, but probably you work in other, you can see somewhere. Yes, this is the sampler rate. Okay, this is how many actions, how many things sends in 1 second. Sampler rate. Okay, 44,100, sorry, hertz in 1 second. This is how it works. That this is perfect for modulate or to create actions that needs to be really precise. And this is continuous signal. This is always sending signal. This is not sending always in signal. is just send a signal when you change the value. It sends the value and it receives the value, but now this is not sending a value. It's sending nothing. But when you move it, this says, okay, something happens here. Send this value to here. Send this value to here, and when it receives, it stops. Okay, but this is continuous. It's always. Okay, this is like water. All the time. This is like electricity. Actually, it is. Control voltage. Well, we have another thing, which is, for example, this yellow dot means that this is audio. This and that are at the same speed, but this is more created to modulate, and this is sound. Everything which is sound goes here in this yellow. For example, this is a meter, and I'm receiving this meter. Okay, you can convert these signals and connect between them. You can connect and transform the signal to signal, but there is something important in MNodes, which is that exists something which is this type. Sorry, I'm going to put another. No, that's okay. You see that here we have this. Excuse me. I'm going to put the volume. Okay. Yeah. So here you see that there is this node which is green, and this is green and blue. And you will see that, for example, there are other nodes, other dots that are absolutely blue. Why? Because this is only this type of data. We will say that this is data blue, CV, and audio. Of course, there is another one, which is MIDI, but we will see in a moment. This can be connected here. This blue, this is 100% data, can be connected here. This can be connected here and can be connected here. But as you say, this is a pure blue, 100% blue, which is 100 data. This type of node, this type of pin accepts CV and data, both connections. This is really flexible. So you can convert this to a CV node, which goes at sampler rate and is really precise. But what happens with a pin that comes with something which was data? Okay, it lose the connection. So when you connect something CV to a node which has these hybrid points, hybrid dots or connections, it converts the node to CV. So it runs in a high priority thread. That means that goes really fast, and you can use it to go sample accurate and be super precise with your changes and modulations. And this is important in the audio, because you need something that is precise. Okay. But when I connect this also it converts to this dotted line, because now it doesn't receive this data. This just it converts the node to CV actually, and just has priority, and this is the boss here. The data, it's another type of it's like a different height street. Okay, it's a different street. So now this is inside a let's say a circuit which is faster, and then this doesn't work. Okay, so transform, it's an hybrid. So you will see that there are a lot of nodes that you can use it in for data and for CV. But also, for example, maybe you want to use an example for that is, for example, is that you can use a sign you can use this sign, for example, and let's say that let's create something simpler, which is this knob. This knob is full blue. For connections like that, it's better to use something that is not overloading the computer. You just need a new value when this change. If not, you don't need to be sending all the time. So, for example, if I put this here, that's okay. I can change this. And this is not, it save CPU. But maybe I want to change the sign frequency with an LFO, like this node. And maybe I need to be this super precise with the timing. And then I can connect this and have this precision also. So it's really versatile, this type of connections. So, and then let's see something. We have now connected this in this box. What is this box? This box is a sine. This is an oscillator. This creates an oscillation that gives us audio. Let's load here an oscilloscope. You can see, this is to see what is happening with the audio. Okay, so if I go down, you can see that this is sending a value that comes from -1 to 1. It oscillates down and up. So, but now we are running at 0.337, which is super slow. If we go to, let's say, 20, so people, the audition ranges from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Okay, so this is why EQs, most of them goes from 20 to 20k hertz. So yes, I can change the frequency here, and let's see how it sounds. And there is another node which is audio out. I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to put the volume down. We don't have sound, but you can see this is moving. This is the master output, because we are running at 1 hertz, super slow. What happens if I put here 100? Here we have a sound that oscillates at this frequency. So imagine that this is your speaker, and your speaker moves. The cone of the speaker goes to the front and to the back. Okay, goes to the front and then goes to the back and then goes to the front, and it's moving. Then it's moving the air, and this air is moving around you and then arrives to your ears, and your ears moves this tympanus or that, and then this converts, your brain converts these movements to, you perceive that as a sound. So this is what we have here. A frequency that 1 hertz, super slow. But if I put 100, here we have this 100 hertz. If I put 1000, okay. So this is sending the audio here to the audio out, and then this audio out is sending the sound to our DAW, and then goes to our sound card, and then goes to your headphones or to your speakers. Okay, but this is different type of frequencies. I mean the data. So we say that we can change this from here also. Each control has a parameter, But then there is we say that we can use the CV, and with CV we can connect this CV out control voltage to control, for example, the frequency of the sine wave. But what happens with this LFO? We have a node that is named CV scope. This is like an oscilloscope, but for CV. If I connect this here, let's see what happens. It goes from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1. Okay, LFO is low frequency oscillation. And then what we need is modulate this frequency, but not from 0 to 1, because we said that from 0 there is nothing moving here. The oscillator is static, it's freeze. And 1 is super slow, you can't hear this. What we need is a node to convert a value from 0 to 1 to another range that we want to use. We have here options, okay, to change that and increase the range, but it's quite limited. We need a node which is super useful, which is the map. So what we need is convert this map, this 0 to 1. Okay, we connect this here. This is the input, and we say which is the value that comes from to the origin. The mean is 0, the max is 1, mean 0, max 1, mean is 0. And when we want to, how you want to map this to another range. For example, let's use a range from 50, min, and max 1000. And then we have a range, a double range, and we can connect this here and so we are connecting this LFO and modulating this frequency. Easy to understand, right? If we need or we want a different range, we can change the range and get this range smaller. Or we can complicate the things and add a different map, connect here, and maybe you can make something like that and connect this here. So you are changing the modulation, okay? Of course, this can be changed here. There are many options. And also there are different type of waveforms. So yeah, we are changing the frequency of the sine with this LFO using the CV and the map. Okay, so this is really basic things. Let me see, I have few notes. Yeah. So yeah, again, to duplicate, you know that you can Control D, but also you can just grab one node and with the control or command press it, hold it, you click with the left mouse and just drag and drop, and you will duplicate this with the connections. This is one to remove, just backspace or the delete button in your keyboard, or everything is also here, so you can delete, select all, delete, duplicate. You have the typical things, Control C and Control V to copy paste. Yeah, and Control X, Control V, the classical things to edit. Yeah, but in the end, you will need this audio out or this MIDI out if you want to send MIDI. Okay, this is another type of data, which is MIDI. And again, you have the audio in or audio out. So the audio comes from here, and this is the input coming from your host, and your MIDI input from your host. And this is the MIDI out. Everything that happens inside here in the middle is the algorithm or the things that you will change before that goes the signal back to the host. Yes. Then a couple of things more. Basic thing that we are touching right now. Basic things is that there are two main panels in MNodes. We have the graph panel, which is this panel where you have these boxes and these cables where you create all your logic. And you have another window. If you click here, you have this toolbar. If you click here, it will show this different window. This is the perform or the from panel. So here is everything is created, connected, and then this is where you put what you want to show to the final user. Here, let me show you an example. Let's create a simple control. For example, a widget knob. This is a control. With that, you can control any parameter. If you want to show this in the final panel or in the from panel, you just need to click right here in the header of this node. Not all nodes has this option, but all the nodes that can be added, it has. And add to from panel. And here we have this from panel with this node. So this is the same. Just I say that I want this control in my from panel. Okay, it hides all the connections and the things. It leaves only what you want to show, which is the knob. But there are more, like sliders, or there are like analyzers, for example. And then you just right click, add to the panel, and here you have a slider, or you have an analyzer. We can add noise here to see how it moves. And this can be also added to the front panel. But also the front panel can be changed of the size, just dragging from here or changing the size from this pop-up, or adding your custom size. Okay. But also, yeah, you can change the color here if you want to change the background. And this is a grid. You can, here there is another toolbar. You can hide the grid. You can move this here, change the size. So make all the modifications. So this is the final project, the front panel, what the user will see. But in the front panel, there is also something important, which is right now, I can move this from position, but I can move the slider like here, right? So this is because here in the front panel there are two states. This is unlocked state, so you can make edits, and there is one, the other state, which is the lock state. When the lock state, this gets hide, and also the grid gets hide. So you click here, and then you can move this like a regular plugin. This is the final, and you can make they use the plugin like the final user. Okay, but if you want to edit the position of the widgets or things like that, you just need to unlock that. But also you can change this state like pressing Ctrl or Command and click everywhere in your panel, and then it will change automatically. So it's really useful. Come here, change block, make things again, and yeah. Okay, so this is the front panel, and this is the graph. Okay, but before one step and jump to the next topic, we can I want to show something. So each node, all nodes, when you press double click or right click here, show in inspector, it shows this right panel. In this right panel, you have all the things that you can change in this node. So for example, you can customize the node. Let's put something simple like that. Let's hide that. For example, here we have this. Also, this can be shown and or not. The inspector, clicking this button, and when you select one button, one node, it shows that. So here we have all the options that you can change on this node. For example, there is an area which is for presets, so you can save presets or reload presets only for this node, just saving or overwriting, or even putting this in the fabs. So this is you can save that. There is the main, which is in all nodes. You will see in this widget, for example, here we have this knob that comes from 0, the range, to 1. Easy, goes to the main. You can go to the main and see that the value is from 0 to 1. What is the minimum value? 0. The maximum? 1. If I put here, for example, 50, I have a value that comes from 0, and you can see, to 50. I'm changing the range. The default value is a value that when you press double click, it goes again to this default value. And the increment. The increment is each time that you move the mouse, how steps goes from the for each step. Sometimes you will see that this doesn't as absolutely aligned with this button, and this is because the pixel size of movement of the mouse. But in general, it's really accurate. But well, also you can make a fine movements with the control preset and moving, or with the alt. And then, for example, here, let's say I want a button that comes from 0 to 10. We have this. This is the range, and the increment goes one step for each change. And here we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have different steps. Another useful node is print. Print is to see what's happening here. And you are getting here that, okay, the widget knob, the out of the widget knob is sending 7.000. And you can see what's happening here. The last test is just when I select the latest, it just shows the last value received. So you can see that that how it works. So, and this is for almost all nodes. You will see that, for example, print it's not necessary, but a lot of nodes has different options here. Okay. Then there is another area which is the apparence, and the apparence is not also in all nodes. So each node has his different properties. But in this case, we have this. In this case, we have this widget node, and we have this apparent. This is really common in the widgets in the project, that in the nodes that can be added in the front panel to the front panel. And here you will find many options. For example, you can change the track color. You can see that it changed the fill color, or the text color, or the size of the text, and or the text position. You want the text position in the center. Display mode, node, for example. Suffix, for example, let's say that you want a float, and let's say this is okay, it's earth, so you have this always in the end of the text. A tooltip is this is nope. So when you put the mouse not here but in the front panel, you will see a box saying that. Maybe it doesn't work. Oh, sorry. This is no. Okay. Here it is. This is a knob. Hello, guys. This is a tooltip. The tooltip is a box. Hello, guys. You can see that this is a box that where you can put your instructions for the parameter that you are. What does this parameter? This is really useful for the final user. Well, there are more things. For example, the position. You can change the position from here. Maybe sometimes you will. You don't need to touch that. The global scale. Maybe you want to change the size. Yeah, many things that you can make here to customize the knob. Okay, there are many things. Okay, you can put more. Yeah, this is to customize the things. But there are another, like for example, in a lot of widgets, there is another which is the DAO. This will expose the value to the DAO. If you want to automate this value in your DAO, in your host, you just need to activate that. You can see here down. If I connect this, it gets exposed, and I can change the values from the host and make automations here. But if this is not active, it is not visible for the DAO. And yeah, when some interactions, you just need to read things. You want more sensibility, less sensibility, and things like that. There is, if you want double click and do nothing, it's okay, but you want to reset to the default, you can double click. Yeah, and well, the panel. If you want to remove this from the panel, not remove from the project. Okay, so this is in general. It's okay if you go here and check for different nodes. If, for example, this is another node, that you can come here and you see that there is the appearance. So here you can change also the appearance of the node. And well, also there is something that you can do if you want. Is this go to the appearance, and here you will see that there is this dice. So random, and press, and you will have a new knob each time that you press. So you can randomize the controls to look weird or different. or reset to go up again to the initial. Yeah, so this is how the basic, but there is also something super important that I have to mention, which is, as I said, there is the graph where you put all the logic like that. Let's say that, let's add this node here. This is the front panel. You can expose the controls that you want or that has access to the front panel. But then in the end, what the user will want to see is not all that things. You want to show just your UI. How I do that? You can go here and open in perform mode or Control P or Command P, and here you have the final project. Okay, and also this can be resized. And this is your plugin, your final plugin. So, but what you have to do to get that is when you finish your plugin, you go to save. You can press save and say perform, for example, and that's super important. You can have to put your name here. Here, this is the open mode. How do you want, when you open this project, how do you want to so do you want to open like that, like to edit and edit more and see the graph, or not, or you want just to load, when you load the project, just see that and see anything else, just that, your project, your controls. This is how or why we need to change this. This is perform test. You can open in mode, open mode in edit, on in perform. Perform means that it will open in perform mode directly. Then you can here put here the type of project, categories if you want, and a description. Then it will take a thumbnail of the perform mode in this case, because we are in it will open in perform mode. Or you can just choose your own image, for example, your logo type or your image. You can just choose your image or drag it directly here from your Explorer, and then press save. Perform mode, save. And here we have the preset. Here, up here, there are the presets and the list with all the presets that you have in your machine. And then, for example, here we have the project that we created, and when you come here, you press here, perform test, double click, and here you have your preset. There are many more here. For example, an example is this one that is created by yeah, here we have the preset info by Hayden Lombro. So yeah, you can come here and jump to different presets created. This is something that I created, and this is a plugin, and then you can jump here to different projects, so you don't have to be in the graph all the time. So if you are here, you can just make music and work with the plugins that comes. It's a plugins of plugins, actually, MNodes. But if you want to edit, you can come here, click here on the logo, and again come here and edit and make the things and save and tweak and change and remix. Yeah, this is the basics, I think. There is a question. Hi, MNodes. No. Harmony Bloom and MNodes are different projects, but you can load MNodes here. MNodes, sorry, Harmony Bloom inside the MNodes if you want. Okay, so this is the basics. Of course, I can talk more about more things, but I think we are okay with that. So let's jump to the next chapter. Okay, let's jump to the switching. This is another question that we had in the forum. Let's create first a new project, file, new. Oh, wait, let's jump to the effect. So here we have the effect. And yeah, let's remove all to get the things clean from the beginning. What's the objective of that, of this lesson? It is a building multi-effect and switch between different processors, okay, with one button. So we just need to route the signal to different places. We will do this from scratch. Let's first get a sound from Splice. Yes, here we are with Splice, and let's load a sound in the this one, which is soft, and you can move it here in the host. If you have Ableton, it's okay. You can use it in the Ableton, Cubase, Logic. It's the same for all the hosts. I'm going to change this to 95. And what's happening now? Right now, it happens that we have a sound here in a track, in an audio track, and then we have MNodes, but this MNodes is empty. So no sound goes through MNodes. We need an audio in and an audio out. We get the sound from here. We connect the in 1 to out 1 and the in 2 to out 2. I press play, and now we have the sound that comes from this sound, this track, and goes back to the host again. And the idea is that we need different effects. MNodes comes with many effects. There are a lot of effects. For example, there is this pitch shift stereo. There is a reverb. There is Sheldon around here barking. There is this flutter, or there are also distortions, dynamic filters. For example, let's put distortion. You have this bit crash or this one. So these are processors that you can use. It's like a plugin. Each node is like a plugin, a processor. So And the idea here is root, because this was a question. Okay, so let's use this bit crusher, these three, and the reverb. If we want, oops, let me, put this here. To disconnect, double click, and let's hurt this reverb. I put this here. This comes from the host. It gets processed here and go back to the host. So here we have the sound with this reverb, and there are parameters to change. This is a reverb. Okay, there are more. For example, let's put this pitch shift. If we want to connect this on the pitch shift, here it is, and you connect the input and the output, and then and this is a pitch shift. The sound comes from here, it gets processed and goes back. And the bit crash. But bit crash is mono, so we will need a new one to connect one channel and the other channel. But to make the things easier, let's skip this mono and let's use another node stereo. Not sure right now if there is one. This one is stereo. This is a tube saturator. This is another node. There are many nodes to process, and some of them are, a lot of them are stereo, but some of them are mono. Connect that. This is a saturation. So here we have three effects. The question was how I change, how I route these effects to different signals. For example, with a button, if I select one, I just heard the sound processed by the reverb. If I press 2, I heard only the sound processed with the pitch shift. If I press 3, I get this. I heard the sound processed with the saturator. To do that, you need to use something like, for example, you can do it with a gate, like that. Which is a gate is a gate. It's a door. It's open or it's not. So if, let me show how it works here. This is mono, but I'm going to duplicate that, and we have two channels. And if now it sounds, let's put a meter so you can see visual what is happening. I press play, we have sound, gate is open. If I press again, nothing happens, so it cuts the sound. Oops, crash. Okay. Well, sorry, but I'm going to add this from scratch again, because we had something can happen, sometimes can happen, but I'm on it fixing many things. But sorry. Okay, I'm going to use just these two, okay, to make the things easier. So gate, C gate, and then I connect this here, and I connect this here, and I think it was the meter that was where it was the problem, but yeah, it goes, it cuts the sound or not here. Okay, I think it's easy. It sounds, it yes, the sound comes from here to here. If not, no. Simple. So we need, for example, here we can do something like that. We can connect this here. And remember, the point is that if I press 1, I get the sound with the reverb. If I press 2, I get the sound with the pitch shift, one or the other. So I'm going to connect this here. And I have reverb. And I have nothing, of course. But if I connect this on the pitch, and I duplicate that, let me put this bigger, and I connect this here, when this is, oh shit, something's happening with the gate. Sorry. So, yeah, it crashes. It's the gate that crashes. I will fix today after the stream, or maybe tomorrow. What? Reverb, gate, and so the thing is, this is I didn't make the test with that. I will do something simple, but so yeah. Well, the point is that you get one effect or the other. Disconnect, connect. So I need to select which I need to connect. I need to say that when it's 1, just heard this gate is open and this is closed, and when I press 2, close this window as this gate and open this one. So we can add this with, for example, with a radio group. This radio group is a combination of buttons in the same node. So here again, when you select, you have here the inspector. Click here, and you can add as many options separated by comma. So, for example, this is reverb, comma, pitch, shift, and here we have 2 buttons. Again, we have the print. I'm going to show what we have. When I press 0, I get a 0. I get the node which at radio group output index is sending 0. When I press 1, I receive an event with the 1. So we can use this 0 and 1 to open or close this, make the logic to hurt one effect or the other effect. How? With the if. Another useful note. If the index here, I put the index here. If the index is 0, if A is equal to 0, if A is equal to B, this is the operator. There is equal, different, minus or equal, bigger than, and bigger than or equal. But in this case, if this is equal, if 1 is equal to 1, what I have a 1. 1 is true, is yes, it's okay, it's open, it's yeah, it's yes, 1, then 1. Else, if not is open, is not is equal, it sends a 0. Okay, remember that. If Oh fuck. Yeah, well, actually we are working with 0.96, which is not released yet, but reverb, pitch. Let's see what happened this time, but sorry, apologies again. Gate and gate and connect and connect and connect. Probably will crash again. If it crash again, maybe I will skip this and work in a different thing. Gate and a different chapter, because we can be all day here with that thing. So apologies. Then, if radio group radio, I'm going to save that in case, and then reverb and pitch. So yeah, I'm going to save, Control S, and index if 0 is equal to 0, send 1 active. If not, send 0. I duplicate that node and then connect this here, and if this, sorry, I can work with that. I can work in this lesson. I don't know what is happening with the gate, but I will review that. Sorry, or maybe yeah. Sorry, apologies. So I will skip that. But the idea is that, yeah, the idea is that. Okay. Index 0, send 0. Index 1 is equal to 1, send 1. If not, send 0. And then you can. So that's the logic. Probably will crash again, but when you press here a button, it receives a 0. 0 is equal to 0. If 0 is equal to 0, sends 1. 1 is OK open. If not, 0. The opposite is that this sends, when I press here, sends a 1. If 1 is equal to 1, open. If not, 0. And that's the logic. And then you are with the gate opening and closing gates. And that's the point here, okay? Apologies, because I will fix this as soon as possible. Okay, so you can jump to a different section. Fingers crossed to not crash again. Well, let's see this. That was another question. I will show, because I've been preparing this, which is a MOOC synthesizer. our Moog style synthesizer. That was another question that we had in the forum. So let's see how it sounds. So yeah, this is a synthesizer Moog style that we have here. I can share this patch with you, or maybe we can work more on that. But let's review how it works. Maybe we can build this from scratch. I think it will be easier to understand. Again, let's press here and let's see that. Here we have an instrument, an MNodes instrument, okay? So here we have an input, a MIDI input, and an audio output. A synthesizer needs a MIDI to trigger a sound, to trigger something, sorry, and an audio to get the sound, because the MIDI doesn't have sound, it doesn't emit sound, it's just there are actions. So here we have the MIDI input. This MIDI input is gets the MIDI from my keyboard or from my notes created here in your host. MIDI monitor, and yeah, when I press a note, we have the note and all the things that has all the MIDI incoming. This is the raw MIDI. Let's use this to create a synthesizer, like this Moog synthesizer. Let's make a mono synthesizer with glide. First of all, what we need is get this MIDI and convert to something that we can manipulate inside here, inside the MNodes, to trigger nodes and to get the frequency and all the things. So we need MIDI to CV because we want precision. This is why we need CV. And then this node that is a lot of outputs, that because it takes the MIDI input, the raw MIDI, and just convert this to a CV, values that we can use to trigger different things. Let's, for example, start for the beginning. What we need is let's add the saw. This is a saw frequency. You see that this is this is a saw, and we need to change the frequency of the saw with the keyboard. We must need to know which frequency is a note that I'm pressing. This is automatically convert this to note frequency, note hertz. Okay, so it takes the note and converts to hertz. And then when I put this here, I'm going to put this down. So yeah, it converts the note that it's incoming. In this case, MIDI monitor, we can see which note I'm pressing. For example, right now I'm pressing a note. This is a note on. Oh, this is receiving some CC, I think, from another keyboard that I have here. But this is a C4. Okay, a C4 is a 60 note. Also, name it. And C4 it's equal in the sound in hertz is 261.6 hertz. So I'm converting the node MIDI to a frequency. But we need to control the volume. If not, we are all the time with a sound, and we need to know when one is preset or released. Let's add an envelope. An envelope is something to control the volume or other things, but let's see this in detail. Here we have the gate of that envelope. Let's put here a CV scope to see, or maybe it's better the oscilloscope. You can see that when I press here, the gate, the first time that I press here, starts. You see? Let's put this more like that. Yeah. You can see. Or maybe we can put this bigger. This is an envelope. When I press, you can see that now is 0, okay? When I press the gate, it starts. Even we can do it more. Starts, goes up, then goes down, then stay in the sustain area, is sustained because we didn't release the node yet, and when you put the gate off, it releases the value. So you can see the process, press a node, goes up, goes down until arrives to the sustain, and then when you release, it decays the node. So this is the equivalent of press a node, hold the node, and release the node. And you see that it goes from 0 to 1 and then to 0. This is the value that we get here. We can use, to control that, we can use this gate output. And when I press a node here in my keyboard, I press, it goes up, I'm holding the node, I release the node, and it goes down. From 0 to 1, that's important, okay? This is a time that you can change here from the envelope. And again, let's see what we have here. Just to understand the basics, we have the oscillator that goes from -1 to 1. What we need here is make a multiplication, okay? Because this is the phase, the amplitude goes from -1 to 1. And then we need to multiply both signals with multiply node. Why? Because sig multiply. We can use a calculator. And what happens when you multiply 1 times 1 is 1. Okay, so 1, we have two values, that one that comes from -1 to 1 and the other one that comes from 1 to 0. If we multiply both values, when this is 1, it will get the result is 1. But if I put, for example, 1 times 0.5, I have 0.5. If I have -1 times 0.1, I have -0.1. So this is why we need to multiply both signals to change the volume of the amplitude. This is really, really basic to build a synthesizer. If I press, you see that it grows and then it disappears because we are multiplying both signals. How it sounds that? Easy. Or we can change the... So this is the basic synthesizer. And of course, yeah, you can change here the envelope. But this is with an envelope, but for example, you can use a SIG. I don't remember the name, value, no, SIG, signal. This also has as an example to understand that, because this was also asked. It was a question about that thing that we are talking in the forum. So you can see that here I can change from 1 to 0 and change this is a signal, and then we can multiply that. Multiply by 0 is 0. So I'm changing with a value. So we are doing the same, but this is automated here. Okay, so yeah, we press no. So this is the most basic synthesizer. You can add different type of waveforms, or you can add, for example, here you can add a synth or instrument. There are many things that you can use here. For example, that. So, yeah, this is the basic. Let's go back to the show, because we are building a MOOC synthesizer. Another thing that we can do here is, for a MOOC synthesizer, we can add another saw, and don't remember exactly how I did it, but mix. So I can combine two, and yeah, maybe here I can add an addition and get the same frequency and just transpose a bit the frequency to don't get the same exactly frequency. So it creates okay, so we are building this MOOC synthesizer with two oscillators, and one is in a different, slightly changing the pitch. And we are combining this here, and then we have the final volume. What we need, and now we need a filter. This is a filter, a roller filter. So we connect this here in the filter, and we can filter the sound with a low pass. This is mono. What else? We can add a glide, for example, CV glide, and transpose this to glide. This is mono. I think if we convert this in stereo, it will be cooler, but to get the things simpler, we are building this kind of MOOC synthesizer. And also, an envelope can be used for any kind of thing, not only for volume. So we can create another envelope and control the filter. So again, we connect this here to control this, and we know that the envelope comes from 0 to 1, and we want to control right now the frequency here to open or close the frequency. We need again the fantastic map. Get that. We know that this comes from 0 to 1, and we can, for example, use from 100 to 300, and then connect this in the filter, and let's see what happens. Okay, let's change the time. Oh, we can add more resonance. Or even we can add some movement at al LFO to change the filter. Here again we can add addition, and here we can let's use map or not. Let's put this here and see what's happening. Oh, sorry, I think this will be better if we put this here. Again, I'm here explaining this because there was a request on the forum. If you want, you can go to the forum and make your questions, and I will try to build the things that you ask for. Maybe this can be slower in the frequency, like that. And we can put something. Oh yeah, again. Another map is always the same, so just transforming values to another value and use it to modulate different things. It's very fun, actually. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong here. Yeah, but this doesn't work fine here. We can get better results if we put this. After. But we will leave it like that. So this is a simple MOOC synthesizer. I'm going to show on the one I built before the stream, which is better. So yeah, this is how I built a MOOC synthesizer. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment. This question was made by don't remember who made this question. Well, I think somewhere here. Analog style, yes, for Haydn. similar to Amok. Just watching you build one concepts, in my opinion. Okay, this is what we did, and this also we covered that. So let's jump to another point. Feedback loops. Apologies, guys. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, the envelope. I'm talking about the envelope loop. So there was a question about how to make loops with an envelope. So there are different options here to make that with an envelope. For example, what I believe is the best option is use this multi-envelope, which is a place where you can use your own curves and create or use some custom curves like that. And then here there is an option which is a loop, and when you trigger this loop active, when you press play, it will goes over and over and over. Okay. Also, there is something interesting here, which is for the smooth. That means that when you are in a loop, this will jump smoothed from the end to the start, and some value like idle that maintains. So this is, you can see this is smooth. So you can see that when the loop is active, so you can run and run and run with the same curve like that. Right now it's not looped. And of course you can change the speed, or you can link the phase with another phase and be in sync. Okay, this is one way of doing loops with envelopes. There is another ways of do it is with this actually the way of doing feedback loops with MNodes, which is using the CV wire or the audio wire or the data wire. So in this case we have this AHD envelope, which is a simpler envelope different than the typical envelope that we use it in the other tutorial. But the thing here is that when you press play, here you can see that so what is happening here? What is happening here is that we trigger the envelope. Let's see this node without the CV. We trigger the envelope. When we trigger the envelope, starts this envelope and triggers until the end. And when it arrives to the end, it says done. When it says done here, when it arrives to the end, we use this wiring. This is like a cable but without cable. So it sends from this CV wire in to this CV wire out. And then again it triggers the envelope. And then again when it's done, it triggers the wire in that sends this trigger to the wire out and makes this feedback loop. So you can make a feedback of the envelopes. And and also there is the same thing can be done with an envelope, which is here I have something extra, but that we can see in a moment. But here we have the same thing, which is an envelope. Then when it's done, but here the difference is that this envelope can only be triggered and make all the envelope with one trigger. But with the gate we have the halt option that we saw in another tutorial, in the last tutorial, that it different is not triggered. So triggers, then maintains the volume here in the halt, and when you release it, it goes down again. So here this is really the same process. So you press play and then it repeats the process. So this is how we do a gate excuse me, a feedback loop with the envelopes. If there is a question, feel free to leave it in the comments. But also what we have here is a controller to control if it's off the feedback or not. We are controlling with, we say 0, it doesn't pass, and so it doesn't go any zone. If so, it doesn't go any CV. If it's 1, yes, it goes CV on the loop. We are closing or opening the loop, the feedback that comes from here to here. So also we can, for example, this kind of loop, maybe if you are interested in knowing how to do it with audio, we can do it with audio. Like we can use audio wire in and audio wire out. And this is the way of doing loops in MNodes, because, for example, if you want to make a loop of that, you can't. You are not allowed to do that. But if you want to close a feedback, you can do that, and this is allowed. This is a feedback, an infinite feedback. The sound goes from here to here, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. So, to make this with audio, we can see this with this, for example, with a sampler. And yeah, the easiest example is always with pitch, because it's super easy to see. Pitch shift stereo, and well, I'm going to do it mono for now, and audio out, because we want to send this to the host, and then again. So okay, we have a loop. Of course, we need to multiply this or make a gain. If not, we have a long feedback, and it's dangerous. Yeah, let's use that, and let's put this. This is the feedback, the gain. So what is happening? The sounds comes from here, goes to this pitch, goes to the host, and also goes to this audio wire that goes here. That here we are putting less volume, because if not we have a infinite feedback. Then goes here again to the host, and then goes to the wire, and then go again. This is a feedback loop. One interesting thing that we can do here is change a delay of the repetition. For example, for that we can use this delay line mono, and then we can connect this here. You can put it here, but there is millions of things that you can do, but this is one option. Of course, we can put it here. This is another option, but let's see what happens. What does this delay mono? This delay mono, it just delay the signal a bit. So the signal arrives processed here, from here to here. Then we put the volume down, and then we delay the signal a bit, 24 milliseconds in this case, and then goes again to this pitch shift, and then goes to the host from here, but then also goes to here, that goes to here, that changes again, that delays the the signal a bit, and then goes to the pitch, and etc. etc. This is how. Yeah, so this is the feedback with audio. So here inside you can put anything that you want, actually. Okay. Okay, so let's jump to something interesting, the scale. Okay, scale. MicroQuantize. Scala, how it works. This was a question from Octafuth. This is interesting. Maybe you heard about two guys that are making music which is named Angie de Portree. They use, for example, something called which is micro scales, which is we have the conventional notes, which is C, D, C, C sharp, D, E, F, G, the classical piano. So how it works, this the scale. So the relation between notes are one semitone. So at least in Europe, maybe in other places are different. But the thing that is that you can change the notes, the typical notes, to have a different relations between notes. Okay. The thing is that right now from C to C sharp, you have 100 semitones, and in between of them you have 100 semitones actually. So it's a relation of frequencies in between notes. But this is why we have the scale, this one. This is really useful to create music with micro tonality, which is named, because you can go out of the classical scales like the C major, minor, augmented, and other things, and you can change the relation between the notes, and that's kind of interesting. And this is why we have this MicroQuantize Scala. You can load here your presets, or you can write your own presets. There are more micro things ready to use, but in this case we will talk about this one, because we have here we have a question from Octafuth. So how it works that, let's see. For example, this is not an easy topic. Also, I've been reviewing the notes because to try to explain the things the better I can. Let's add a MIDI keyboard and let's use a MIDI to CV. And that's interesting. Why? Because if I press C here, or I press E, this can be changed to a different frequencies and have something really weird and sounds different, but can be sounds great too and original. For that, we will need the pitch be octave. So that means this means that the octave is by voltage. If I press C4 in this case, I get the C4 note that is equal to this root frequency. Okay, but if I press C5, we will go to 1, which is 1 octave above the note. So we are not using notes anymore here to use the MicroQuantize. We can use this with an example. I have something here, maybe this one. Yeah. Yes, sorry. Or let's do it simple. Let's add a simple sign, an envelope, and agent. This one, super simple. Let's just trigger on and frequency that comes from here. Let's multiply and let's connect this here and let's add again just in case that is too loud, and audio out. Okay, let's put this here. Okay, we have a simple. Then we have the regular distance between notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. It's not do, re, mi, fa, sol. In America it's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, F, G. We say in Spanish do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Yeah. So that's the distance. So also here you can mute some notes and remove some notes from here. So it's jumping to one note to another note, so skipping some notes. Okay, so we are changing the quantization of the notes and where they are. But there are files that you can download from internet, or you can create your own files. I have here few that are different. For example, here we have this one. Let's try to load it. This is our scales. In this case, there are 24 notes for cycle. Yeah, but it's changing. Yeah. But there are notes inside that, since we don't have this. Excuse me, I'm going to move that here. Yeah, I think it's better if we use something simple. think we need to use something different here. Sorry. To get the things clear. For example, seek CV value. Or let's use this transport and step phase to step, and let's use this bar phase to convert these 2 steps, and let's use, for example, 24 steps here. And no, this is not right, sorry. Maybe random. The point here is that to use this type of nodes, you will need maybe a MIDI keyboard with MP or something like that. If not, the conversion is not corrected to touch all the nodes. But we can use random float. Okay, there is another bug here. Fuck. Data to CV. Okay. So the distance here between nodes are separated by different distance than you have in a typical keyboard. That's the point, okay? So, for example, you have here an example of a scale. So you can create your own scales, and these scales are based by your by relations. For example, in this case, I have this one. I have to put this from less to 1. This is one way. I think Octafuz uploaded a file or something, a comment about these scales, but the problem is this is not frequency. These are cents. So you have the root node, which is in this case 261, which is a C4, and then the next node it will be. I'm going to save that and load this here. Somewhere is the file. Sorry. Apologies. Here. And if I put this here, here we have 4 nodes. Okay. This is because these 4 nodes, it is like the first node, which is the root node, which is in this case 261, is the first node. Then the second node is plus this what's the name, semitones, and the next one is plus 200 semitone, and the third one is 1 semitone, and then the fourth one, which is the close the cycle, it will be 400, and the next one it will be root, so 400 plus root, which is this one, plus 100. So you have a circle of distance that are repeated again and again. MIDI keyboard, I think this few notes it will be showed. CV no, MIDI to CV, and then put this here. Sorry. But I'm not sure if this is working perfectly right now, but But yeah, this is how it works. And then there are, but I also have to review this node. But then there are also another micro tonal that are ready to use. Probably this one works better. So yeah, you can make microtonal music, but I have also to review that to make something more clear and more stable. But yeah, this is the main idea of microtonal things, that you have a different relation between nodes. But yeah, I have to review that to make better examples. Lol. Sorry and thanks. I don't used to make this type of a stream, so I'm not. Yeah, thanks. Yes, so new now, what we have in coming in MNodes is that I've been working really hard in improve the polymodule, and yeah, well, as I said, there are projects created by the community. There are these tutorials, which is really cool. I didn't review it but it's nice that the guys create these projects to help the community. Octafood, thank you very much. Yeah, in the procedure, yeah, that's nice, perfect, that's great. And also, yeah, there are more projects here from, yeah, this one with Simple Simon. This one is also really cool with Hayden Lonbro. Yes, I'm also working on a few things here. Some projects that I will upload someday. But right now I'm really focused in working on improving the CPU usage of the MNodes, because there was some spikes with also with polysynth. Polysynth, it was really hard for the CPU, but now it's like 10 times better. So you can put here more things and it will be really optimized. So this is much better in the polysynth. Also, I did something. There's a question from Aurora photograph settings. I may have a stupid question. I can make a sub by grouping them. Command G. Would be great to have an option to ungroup them. Yes, there is no option for that. So yeah, you can Control or Command G. Yeah, I didn't add this function, but yeah, I should add it. Yes, I have some ideas. I believe that since well, I have to fix some things, small things, but I think we are really close to the 1.0 version. So, but what I need to do is tutorials and make more projects. Probably will improve more this panel. I really want to make something like that you can convert a module to a project with one click, or the opposite, create a project and convert this project to a module, so it will be easier to use it inside your patches. Also, I added this Mandelbrot thing, which is I'm experimenting these days to using the GPU to create some visuals with the GPU, using the GPU of the, so you can create really stunning, beautiful things with using the GPU, because with the CPU is slow. But yes, you can. I'm working on this new node, and also there is another node named let me remember the name of the node, which is sorry, I don't remember the name. Well, I've been experimenting, but also with that, which is this freaky, crazy Mandelbrot thing in 3D. It's a formula of a fractal. Very fun to create visuals. Yeah, I did. I think I did something. Yeah, I did some experimental thing here. So yeah, you can control the visuals and move that. And also this can be added to the, it's already added in the so yes, then you have here this plugin, kind of. Yeah, this is something that I'm investigating, because it's kind of hard adding this type of visuals inside MNodes and don't get millions of problems with the other components in the panel. Also, yeah, I have a long list of things to add, but right now I'm finishing. I focused on improving the CPU usage, the performance. I'm really focused on that. And yeah, I'm working on the page and fixing some things also in the hub, because there was some problems in the hub that are now fixed. Also, I added new nodes, like I'm working on something new, which is this slider with zoom, which is new, also requested by somebody in the Discord or maybe in the forum. Text field, text input, like that, and then you can add your text files and then send this text. And yeah, I'm thinking also in adding a convolution reverb, but don't know if I will add it in the 1.0 or I will wait to add it after the official release. Yeah, also there are some modules here and that was requested, but this is subgraphs with the logic inside. And not sure what else. We'll see what comes next. But yeah, the CPU is my high priority thing right now. And also, well, yeah, we have here the forum. If you have any questions or things, I'm trying to reply all the questions. And yeah, also in the Discord, if you have Discord or want to be joining in the Discord, I can share the link in the comments. And the link well, I didn't touch too much. I've been looking information about how to build that, but I can't explain too much because I didn't test it well. So if I explain this now, can be a bit of it's not the right moment, at least. Because I have to review them and check that everything works. Should work, but I have to review the things correctly to get a better understanding. And yeah, sometimes it's just know what the things must to be done, created, and build it. So that's a nice thing about MNodes, that you can create everything inside here and then save it and use it. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something today, and yeah, see you in the forums, in the Discord, or in the email. Have a nice day, night, and afternoon. Bye bye.